Hi everyone, and welcome back to Coastal Crafter. Today I'm going to start a series for beginners on how to actually start crafting, what items to purchase, and how to save money, because the last thing you want to do is to buy something like I did and then find that it's actually no good. It's not exactly what you needed, it's not fit for purpose, or it just isn't precise as you want it to be. I'm going to try very hard today not to say or because when I watched my video back, I was constantly saying so I'm really sorry. It's really bad. Anyway, I did it again. So let's start. The first thing I want to talk about is really important. I have purchased so many different cutters in my time when I've started to craft, and what I ended up thinking was that I was really rubbish, because every time I tried to cut something it got torn or it had rough edges, and I was thinking, I can't even cut properly. I'm never going to be able to sell anything. I'm never going to be able to have my own handmade business. This is just awful, and I'm at the very beginning with that. So if you're like me and you're just starting out to craft and you think you've got a flair for it and you're thinking of turning it into a business, then that is perfect that you're here on this channel, because I'm at exactly the same place that you are. So, and this is after several different failed attempts. I tried a different business and set up my own website, and it cost a fortune, and it was just so it was so time heavy. I just couldn't do it. There's just no way. I did again, sorry. There's just no way. I have a disability and it's very difficult to allocate huge amounts of time when I don't know how I'm going to be feeling. So anyway, let's start with cutter. Without a doubt, Fiskars is the best cutter you could possibly invest in. The reason I say that is, firstly, it has this arm. I'll show you this, sorry, on camera. It has this arm that comes out, allowing you to cut up to 15 inches, which is exactly what you need when you're cutting your 12 by 12 paper. It also has a fantastic grid on it, and this one is right-handed, so it lifts up this way, but there's no real reason why, if you're left-handed, you can't turn this around and cut from this way. I'd imagine that's probably quite comfortable for somebody who is left-handed. So whether you're left-handed, right-handed, I think it'll be fine for you. The other reason I love it is I used to watch videos where someone would take a piece of paper. Let's see if I've got something. Okay, I've got a scrap here. They would take a piece of paper and they'd say, oh, I'm just going to trim this piece off here because, oh, it's, you know, that was really wobbly, because, you know, I just need that to be a bit more straight. And they just kind of do it right in the middle of the cutter, and I think, how on earth can you get that straight? I know you've got a grid line, but like, how are you doing that? Once I bought my Fiskars, I realised there's a wire. I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to get really close. There's a wire. You probably can't see it by my finger, just here. And what that wire does is it runs along with the knife, with the blade. So therefore, when you've put something in here, you can immediately see the wire and you can see where it's going to cut. Okay, I can see it from here. You may not be able to with the camera, and if I move this, it's going to fall off. So this is why I would say Fiskars is very good. The replacement blades are about £10 for two, I found on eBay. Someone might be able to find them cheaper elsewhere. They seem to last a really long time depending on the thickness of card that you're cutting. Obviously with this, I wouldn't cut anything more than 350. 350, it struggles a little bit. It still cuts perfectly, but I wouldn't say it's I've got glue on it as well. Oh, is that another one of those? Do you know what? This is so funny. Can you see how new this is? It's still got the plastic on it. Okay, let's get rid of that. So yes, do take the plastic off when you buy your new Fiskars. I wonder why it was looking a bit dull. Anyway, so I would definitely purchase this. It's on Amazon. It's just under £30. I think it's £27.99, but it is an investment, and you won't need any other cutter, in my opinion. I've bought cheaper ones. I bought ones for £10, £15, £20. They are all, as far as I'm concerned, completely useless. They do not cut straight. They do not cut perfectly. They leave frayed edges. the blades don't last, this is the one to purchase, definitely. Next I'm going to talk about a mat. This one I've purchased recently. This was really inexpensive. It was £13 and it's from Dovecraft. Just put that there. And it's glass, it's tempered glass. Now I was considering the Tim Holtz one, but that's sort of 35 plus, and I just wanted something I could clean really easily because I'm quite a messy crafter. So I would definitely recommend this. £13, lovely. I've also got underneath a large self-healing mat. I like the measurements on this. I like the fact that I can cut really easily on it and not worry about scratches on my other mat and things like that. And also if I've had a messy crafting session on this one and I'm doing YouTube, I can just pop that back on and I haven't got to worry. Oh, things falling off. Wouldn't be a video of mine, would it, without a big crash in a bag. So £13 from Amazon. Okay, you may be able to find one slightly cheaper, but this I think isn't a bad buy, and it's, I think it's A3. Yeah, A3, just slightly bigger than A3. So that I would definitely go for. Now we're going to talk about distress ink next. I started off with, actually I started off with, if I can find it, one of the little stacks of, somewhere amongst here, here it is. I started off with one of the little stacks of Tim Holtz, and with it I got, let's see, I got black soot, antique linen, walnut stain, and also the vintage photo. Now this was about £10 again, I think, on Amazon. I kind of played with them. I wasn't sure about distress inks. I'd never used them before. But they are kind of essential when you're journaling because they add that extra zing to whatever project you're doing. So let's grab again. I'm going to grab a piece of, oh here we go, look, I've been cutting out some tags. This one isn't completely cut out. Now this little doodit isn't essential. A lot of people on YouTube will use makeup sponges. I think it's because they're a little bit more skilled. I think you should invest in one of these if you can. You can get them really cheaply. If you look at Every Craft's a £1, I think they do a 3-pack there for £3. You have to buy a little bit more from that company because their postage is, say, £6.99. But if you're doing a little tiny stock up, then I think you'll really like that site. So Every Craft's a £1 is well worth looking at. They come with these little removable pads, and these are also, you can purchase these separately, and they're really not that expensive. And I find that this is the best thing. I've tried these makeup brushes that people use. I don't mind it, but I tend to make marks with it, so I'm not a major fan. And I started off with Distress ink. Now this is a little bit different from Distress Oxide, as I've discovered. So I wished I hadn't bought the brand new, I bought a brand new vintage photo because it was on offer for £2, and I thought, oh, I'll grab that. But I actually wish that I'd bought the Oxide, because the difference between the Oxide and the Distress ink is this does blend a lot easier. You don't get, if you're doing sort of a lot of blending, let's show you what I mean. I won't use the back of that tag, I'll get a piece of card. Okay, so if you're doing a lot of blending and you want to, can you see you get circles? Okay, with this Oxide I find that when I blend with it, let's find the green one and I'll show you on another piece of paper. Those circles are not anywhere near as pronounced. Okay, so can you see the difference there? So you get a better, and you can carry on blending it as well with this Oxide. I don't know why. It just, if I show you, let's take this one and keep blending on here. Right, can you see that on this one I have a lot of circular marks where I've gone round? I've done exactly the same thing with the Oxide, but with the Oxide it's blended a lot better. Now Tim says himself that when you're blending you start at an angle and go along, so that you, but I still think no matter how hard I try, I still get this, sorry I might be off camera there, I still get these circular patterns, which I don't really like. It looks, just doesn't look as good. It looks amateur. She says I'm an amateur. But with this one, no matter what you do, you can go over and blend again. And I'm just blending, blending, blending. As you can see, I haven't really got that many circular marks. So if I was to buy it again, I would buy Vintage Photo, but I'd buy Oxide, because I think that would be better. The other thing I find, okay, with the Distress Oxide is the colours, you can blend them together a lot easier. So if you want to blend, I know everybody uses Vintage Photo, but I like colour. And if you saw my ephemera stacker video, you'll see that I used orange. I've got it here actually. I used a lot of orange and yellow and green on all my pieces because I do like colour. So if you're someone who does like to experiment with colour and doesn't just want to be stuck with Vintage Photo, no offence to people who like it, Oxide's the way to go. You can blend it. You could blend two colours. You could go over the back of tags if you didn't want to double-sided print them. It's really versatile, so I really like that. The other thing I want to talk about is how you actually do it. Now, I've seen people go around the outside and they do it quite quickly, and they do these tiny little bits, and this takes a bit of practice to do this, and then you get just a little edge. But you see, I have done projects before where I've kind of really made it look grungy, like this. Okay, now the problem that I found, and why I'm cursing with buying this one, is that I do get the lines from what I'm doing, and sometimes I really want to distress something. I really want to make it look old, especially if the ephemera on the top of it or the scraps on the top of it are really old themselves. And I think if I'd have bought the Oxide, this would blend a lot better, and hopefully in the future I might invest in some, but at the moment I just can't warrant it because I've already got a couple more. But so I definitely say Oxide is the way to go. But you know, you can always buy these small kits and just test and see which one you like. Yeah, I have a range of these because I treated myself to have several of these, so I didn't have to keep swapping over. But I wanted to show you these. These are really, really cheap. They're called little mini blenders, and they're on AliExpress. They can do a similar job. Let's grab another tag and I'll show you. I've got one that I've cut out. Yep. Okay, these can do a very similar job to those, and they're much cheaper. So can you see? You can still do it. You just get a different effect again. Okay, and the only thing I'd say is that they don't hold as much of the distressing, but you can still do it. So if you haven't got a lot of money, these are about £1 on AliExpress, so go and get yourself some of those if you're just starting out and you don't want to invest, you know, huge amounts of money. Okay, you don't have to. If you look at Pam at the Paper Outpost, she actually has some videos where she uses eyeshadow and shoe polish to distress her items in her junk journal, and she is amazing. She comes up with so many simple solutions. You know, before we had all these, she puts it, fancy distressings. So definitely check her out. The only other thing I purchased was some Memento, and this is because I use brown for all of my stamps. I don't use black. A lot of people don't use black simply because they don't like it, the look of it in their vintage journals, because they've used the antique vintage photo. So I just prefer, if you can see. And again, this Memento pad, I think this was £2 something from Amazon, and again, it'll last a long time. And you know, I will try and find the refill for this when I can. I've talked to you about stamps in a previous video, so if you're interested in stamps, check out that video as well, and it'll talk about if you want to purchase stamps from anywhere. Okay, next, so we've done blend, done distressing. Scissors, really important. Again, I've gone for Fiskars. Now, on my wall over there, you can't see, I have several types of scissors. I do have a little pair from my Cricut machine. They're great, they're really sharp, they're not bad at all, but I still rate Fiskars. I've got a slightly longer pair for normal cutting and this tiny pair for fussy cutting. But you could just buy this small pair and it would stand you in good stead for everything. It's just sometimes I get aches in my hands and I just want to have the slightly larger pair. Mine are a bit gluey, which is really bad. You should always have a gluey pair of scissors, you know, that you cut tape with or something, because it tends to get gluey. I do have a gluey pair of scissors, which is this big pair. They're not particularly sharp though, but I do keep them because I should probably go down and try and sharpen them again. So I definitely say Fiskars again. Other people may have a different choice, but I've just found that these are really, really sharp and they stay sharp for some time. I couldn't tell you what the price of them are. You'd have to check those out on different craft shops. But you could try Craftelia, Crafteler. They are a brilliant site that have some amazing deals, so you could try Craftelia and see if they have any in stock. Okay, glue. Oh, the dreaded glue. Right, I use this one, Beacon 3-in-1, all the time. On Amazon they're £5 per bottle if you buy it in bulk. I bought 4 for £20. My only worry with it is this one I purchased the other day and it's actually nearly empty, and this was from doing just 3 projects. So it is expensive because you do use a lot of it, and you can use it for fabric as well. You can use it for ribbon. I do have Fabri-Tac on its way as well, which I do use. I think Fabri-Tac's great, especially for satin ribbon and things like that, for trims. So if you can get hold of a bottle of Beacon Fabri-Tac, I think it is Beacon as well, Beacon Fabri-Tac, just try and be sparing with them. If you can't afford that, just get PVA glue. Just get a really good quality PVA glue to start with. That's all you need. You can even buy these fast tacks from Hobbycraft, and I think I bought this one on offer for £1. So, you know, there's lots of offers around for just white glue. So if that's what you want to start with, there's nothing wrong with that. Just because everybody else uses different things, it doesn't mean that you need to. You can invest later on, okay? The gem tack I purchased is also from Beacon. This is really runny, but my goodness, is it fantastic for gems and for large embellishments or anything like that. And I do like using gems and crystals and things like that. So I'm going to start using some of those in my journal. As you can see, this is just a selection of some that I've got hanging around. And again, these are all from AliExpress, but I like these for covers, and I just recently made a cover with lots of pretty gems. So yeah, so that's the glues. A glue stick, any glue stick you can get hold of. I would recommend, say, Pritt Stick. They even do a strong strength Pritt Stick, which I find really good on paper. It adheres very quickly. And you're also going to need perhaps some, you know, maybe a glue tape dispenser. These are those ones. If you don't know what these are, you just roll it on like so, and you can see is that this one's got blue dots on it, so you should be able to see it. I don't know if the camera's going to focus actually, and it's just really sticky. You can probably hear that. So I do use that sometimes for little things. You can also get, again, from different craft providers, you can get the tape. I'll just jump down and grab some. Oops, okay. So you can get these little rolls of double-sided tape. This one's quite old actually. I don't really use it very much, but it's still good. And you can use those. You will need some sort of little pick tool to get the end off, you know, any kind of little pick tool. They sell them in the pound shop actually, little tiny sharp pick tools that look a little bit like this from my Cricut collection, my Cricut tools. So you can get one of those. It just helps you get the end off. This is one I got from AliExpress. It just comes on a roll. Okay, again, this wasn't very expensive, but these again are on Every Crafts a pound. You can buy a whole stack of these. This is much more expensive. I do use this from time to time for putting my covers on, putting the paper on my covers, because I can do lots of lines and it sticks and adheres really well. This one was quite expensive. It was about £7 from Amazon, but I'm going to try and source something a bit cheaper. It's about 2 inches across. So there's all your glues. Again, do not buy everything. Just start with white glue, build up your craft stash, go from there. The next thing you're going to need is bone folders. I do have 2 large ones, but I cannot find them anywhere. I have no idea. These are a bit gluey because I use these for glue, for like folding down and pressing down when I've glued, but the glue comes off quite easily. But yes, so any little bone tool that you can get. I don't really understand the difference in the shapes. I just kind of like the pointy one because I can have a nice point. I guess if you've got particularly fine paper, then you need a slightly rounded edge so that you don't tear the paper. But again, you can get these anywhere. If you look on AliExpress, if you look on eBay, get yourself a bone folder. This is going to make the difference between rough folds and really sharp folds. Okay. On that note, I can't find it, but you know, you get scoreboards. I've only got a little scoreboard and I actually regret purchasing it. If I can find it, I don't know where it is at the moment. So if you get a little scoreboard which has the lines on it, you can either work in inches or centimetres, and a lot of the journal makers, I find, because it's an idea that is probably more popular in America than it is in the UK, and people know a lot more about journaling, they always work in inches. So I've got a scoreboard somewhere around this craft room. I found it. Okay, this is the one that comes with this little bone folder. So actually, if you buy EK Tools, you get a little bone folder as well. I only bought a little one. When you're scoring 12 by 12 paper, this is not ideal. So I would start with a bigger scoreboard. EK Tools do one as well. That's in inches. Get used to working in inches because it's a lot easier when you follow along with other videos. And I would go for that. Go for a large scoreboard, 12 by 12. That will set you up, okay? And I think that's all that I would say you needed to start with. As you go forward, what you may like to do is to invest in a binding kit. And again, I'm searching for mine. Here it is. Okay, so this is in a little bag that I had. So it doesn't come in a bag, it comes in a little box. This one is £7 from AliExpress with free postage. And I want to show you what you get. You get 4 rolls of waxed thread, which is what you're going to need for binding your books. You also get 4 of these clips, and I have several of these in my craft room because they're always handy. So you know, they're a really good thing to get. It comes with a ruler, which I haven't actually used yet. Yeah, ruler is also another good thing. Mine is a Craftelia ruler, a couple of pounds. I think I got this free actually with an order at one point. This is a nice one. It's metal on the top and it's got cork on the back so it doesn't slip. You definitely need a nice ruler. It comes with a large bone folder and a small rounded bone folder. It comes with some sort of snips. I'll just take that one out because that isn't part of the kit. And it comes with a little finger protector, which, let me tell you, is very, very useful. If you've watched videos with people binding, sometimes they do actually get their finger. The other thing that it does come with is, I'm trying to think what else came in the kit. Oh yes, of course, needles. My needles are actually up in my sewing kit, so I won't get those down, but it comes with a selection of needles as well. Mostly the big ones that you need for binding, a few little ones for intricate work. Fantastic kit. £7 AliExpress. Have a look for book binding kit on there and I'm sure you'll find it, and you'll definitely find it for £7. If you just keep searching and looking for different sellers, then you'll get the right price. But yeah, well worth the money.